Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, this is George. I don't know if you can see behind me, but this is a typical subdivision in Southern California that has been run amok. I mean, look, you can see much more typical of a development that was caught in the real estate collapse midway through. And this is why we're having so many problems with the banks. You know, the banks receiving all the bailouts, the TARP funds, and this kind of gives you on-the-ground reporting of why the banks are really just phantom companies. The way they're marking their valuations, and a lot of it is in real estate, is really here. You can see the reality of what the banks own here. And in this particular situation, the banks took back the homeowners association. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that, but in California, a lot of times you'll pay $100 and $115 per house, and that goes to common area maintenance. They do the lawns, they take care of the parks, the maintenance, and the common areas. Well, in this case, I wanted to break down a scenario on how the common areas in a housing development can just go down the drain, and how the total craziness of when the banks take over the property, problems when the city comes involved. And I just kind of wanted to run down a real quick scenario for you guys. You come in with a developer who owns the entire property, and you know, he may get a series of loans. Let's say he puts out $30 million. Then he starts selling portions of the parcel out to builders. These are the national builders like D.R. Horton and Centex and Kaufman Broad, and you know, one will build out all their homes and they'll be all sold out. Then another will get to maybe 70%, another will get 50%, and maybe the other couple builders don't even get started on their homes, and then the real estate market crashed. So what you're left with is builders holding the bag and developers holding the bag. Now what happens is, as these homes get built out, the developer is pouring money into the homeowners association trust, the least amount that he possibly can, and the developer goes BK, he goes bankrupt, and he can no longer afford the development. So what happens to the homeowners association fee? It's no longer paid, so the bank has to take back the homeowners association. And as you can tell, you can see with your own eyes what happens to the common areas and the maintenance when a bank takes care of it. It basically goes down the drain. 150 home buyers, or now renters in the area, now have to deal with a common area that really doesn't exist. So within a development within a development, a common area within a development is now becoming like a twilight zone. The city doesn't want it. The bank doesn't want it. The homeowners can't afford it. Their homeowners association fee of $115 is basically going to nothing. And this is what we're seeing in California a lot, is sales signs are coming down and everything is for rent. For rent. For rent. For rent. Vacant. Model homes, vacant model homes, vacant model homes. Amazing. You can see that on the ground, you can see how badly this situation truly looks. You know, we've been writing the banks an unlimited amount of dollars through the TARP funds, through the stimulus packages, and this is what they own, guys. This is what they own. A whole lot of nothing. It's a whole bunch of fantasy that they own. They own lots, graded lots in the middle of the desert, and they own common area that no one can pay for. And you know what happens? The city comes in here and they start slapping fines, code violations. I mean, it can work up to thousands of dollars a day. That's why you see Vision Victory, you know, he covered that story where the developer or the builder, and no, it was actually the bank, destroyed perfectly good housing because of some vandalism. The problem is banks don't know how to own real estate, but by default, because of the collapse, because of all the mortgage defaults, banks are probably becoming some of the largest owners of real estate in our country. So there's a transfer. The wealth has been destroyed by middle class America. Now what's left is the assets, the land, the houses, and it's steadily being transferred over to the bank. and the banks are being supported by TARP funds. So officially what you got is government intrusion into the very land that we live in, the homes that we built. You're seeing assets being transferred over to the government. To me, this is very disturbing, because now what's going to happen? What's the end game? End game is the banks are owning the real estate, and the government, who supports the banks, is basically owning real estate. So what you're seeing is a socialization of the areas in which we live. What's to stop a czar from being appointed and saying, okay, we need to redistribute this housing, or we need to redistribute this land in equal fashion, and you know, it's given out to you know, Section 8 HUD, you know, well, there's probably Section 8 in here. I mean, the pop bubble isn't ending. It hasn't popped. There's a secondary bubble to be popped here. And I think this shows you how bad the situation is. We haven't hit rock bottom. What happens when all this bank-owned property and even the common areas of the bank-owned property start hitting the market? Who the hell has the money to buy all this stuff except, you know, the government itself, which they don't have any money. They just have our money. So